The Galactic Council had made their decision with the cold certainty of bureaucrats who had never seen a human repair a starship engine with nothing but spare parts and stubborn determination. Ambassador Vexthal clicked her crystalline appendages against the obsidian conference table as she delivered the verdict to the assembled delegates. The gateways to the core sectors are hereby sealed to human vessels, she announced, her voice carrying the authority of 1,000 worlds. Their expansion has become concerning. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. The Zelthani representative nodded his scaled head, while the Korthan delegates' bioluminescent patches flickered in approval. They had all seen the reports. Humans colonizing dead worlds, turning barren rocks into thriving settlements, spreading across the galaxy like some unstoppable force of nature. The energy barriers will be impenetrable, continued the Altarian tech minister, his 6 arms gesturing at the holographic displays. Each gateway is now protected by a quantum-locked force field requiring a molecular key, a specific arrangement of exotic matter that exists nowhere in nature. It would take centuries for any species to decode the pattern. The delegates dispersed, confident in their solution. Humanity would be contained to the outer rim sectors, their dangerous tendency for adaptation and expansion finally curtailed. Captain Sarah Chen received the news while knee-deep in the engine compartment of her cargo hauler. The lucky break. Grease streaked her weathered face as she emerged from beneath the plasma conduits, wiping her hands on a rag that had seen better decades. Gateways sealed? She asked her first officer, Martinez, who was reading from a cracked data pad held together with molecular tape. All of them. Some kind of exotic matter lock. Council says no human ship gets through without the proper key. Martinez shook his head. Guess that's the end of the core sector runs. Chen stared at the gateway looming ahead of them, a massive ring of alien architecture that had once been their passage to the prosperous inner worlds. Now it pulsed with an ominous energy field, beautiful and impenetrable. Martinez, she said slowly. Remember that vegan trader who paid us in worthless alien junk last month? The crystalline matrices? Yeah, they're still in cargo hold 3. Why? Chen's grin was the kind that made seasoned spacers nervous. Get me everything we picked up from that derelict precursor ship too, and that quantum resonator the Zephyrians couldn't identify. Cap, what are you thinking? I'm thinking the Council assumes we'll do what any civilized species would do. Give up. She headed toward the workshop, already mentally cataloging their collection of worthless salvage. They don't know humans very well. Word spread through the human fleet like wildfire. Within hours, every cargo hauler, passenger liner, and mining vessel in the outer rim was transmitting data. Scrapped alien technology, mysterious artifacts, exotic materials that other species had discarded as useless. Humanity's pack-rat instincts had left them with warehouses full of galactic refuse. Dr. Elizabeth Kowalski had been the Terran Federation's leading expert on xenoarchaeology, until budget cuts had relegated her to cataloging salvage. Now surrounded by mountains of alien debris aboard the research vessel Darwin's Gambit, she felt like a child in a candy store. This fragment, she muttered, holding up a shard of crystalline material. It's resonating at the same frequency as the gateway barriers. And this, she lifted a spiraling metal coil. The hegemony threw these away because they couldn't figure out how to stabilize them. But if we reverse the polarity, Captain Chen's voice crackled over the comm. Doc, please tell me you've got something. Better than something, Elizabeth replied, her eyes bright with discovery. I've got everything. These aren't random artifacts. They're components of a precursor gateway key. The ancients designed them to be modular, self-assembling. The Council's impenetrable lock is actually just a precursor security protocol. How long to build it? Give me 6 hours and every welder in the fleet. The human armada gathered at the sealed gateway. Not warships, but the everyday vessels of a species that had learned to make do with whatever they could find. Cargo haulers welded precursor crystals to their hulls. Passenger liners jury-rigged quantum resonators to their navigation arrays. Mining ships repurposed their drilling equipment to channel exotic energies. The Lucky Break led the formation, its hull bristling with an impossible amalgamation of alien technologies that by all rights shouldn't have worked together. But humans had a talent for making the impossible merely improbable. Council vessels are approaching, Martinez reported. 3 dreadnoughts and a battle cruiser. Chen keyed the fleet-wide channel. This is Chen to all ships. The galaxy thought they could cage us with their fancy locks and their ancient mysteries. They forgot that humans don't see barriers. We see puzzles to solve. The makeshift key activated, sending cascades of exotic energy toward the gateway. The barrier flickered, wavered, then dissolved like morning mist. They sealed the gateways, Chen announced as the human fleet surged through. But we built keys from their trash and walked right through. Welcome to the core sectors, people. Try not to track mud on their precious civilizations. Ambassador Vexthal watched the human ships disappear through the gateway, with something approaching admiration. In 6 hours, they had accomplished what should have taken centuries. They had turned galactic refuse into keys, impossibilities into inevitabilities. Remarkable, she whispered to herself. Absolutely remarkable. The Galactic Council would spend years analyzing how humanity had breached their impenetrable barriers. But they were asking the wrong question. It wasn't how humans had done it, it was why they had never doubted they could. After all, every human child learned the same lesson. There was no such thing as junk, only spare parts waiting for the right problem to solve.